Fred and Rose West are two of the most notorious serial killers in British history. Their crimes shocked the nation and left a legacy of horror that's still hard to comprehend. But who were they, and how did they manage to carry out such evil behind closed doors for so long? Fred West was born in 1941 in rural England. He came from a deeply dysfunctional home, with allegations of abuse and incest that would shape his violent and predatory behavior. By the time he was in his 20s, Fred already had a criminal record for theft and sexual assault, and a disturbing obsession with control. Rose West, born in 1953, had a similarly traumatic upbringing. She grew up in a troubled household with an abusive father and struggled with violent tendencies from an early age. When she met Fred at just 15 years old, the two formed a twisted and dangerous bond. Fred was nearly twice her age, and soon after meeting, they moved in together. Their relationship was marked by manipulation, domination, and escalating violence. What started as an abusive household soon turned into something far worse. In the 1970s and 80s, the couple began abducting young women, often under the guise of offering help or work, and bringing them back to their home at 25 Cromwell Street in Gloucester. What happened behind those walls was unspeakable. Victims were tortured, sexually assaulted, and murdered, often buried in the cellar or the garden. Some of the victims were strangers, while others were people who knew and trusted the couple. Tragically, even their own children weren't safe. Several of the victims were believed to be Fred and Rose's own daughters or stepdaughters. Fred and Rose operated with chilling precision. They were careful, secretive, and terrifyingly coordinated. Friends and neighbors noticed strange behavior, but nothing that led to serious investigation for years. It wasn't until one of their daughters came forward in 1992, alleging abuse, that police finally started digging deeper. In 1994, a full investigation was launched. When officers excavated the property, they discovered human remains buried under the patio, in the garden, and even beneath the bathroom floor. In total, 12 bodies were uncovered, though the true number of victims may never be known. Fred was arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder. But before he could face justice, he died by suicide in his prison cell on New Year's Day, 1995. Rose, however, stood trial later that year. Unlike Fred, she showed no remorse and denied all involvement. But the evidence was overwhelming. She was convicted of 10 murders and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She remains incarcerated to this day and is one of the few women in the UK serving a full life sentence. The crimes of Fred and Rose West are among the most disturbing ever uncovered in the UK. They weren't just killers, they were partners in cruelty. Their case changed the way British authorities handle missing persons, abuse allegations, and family investigations. 25 Cromwell Street was demolished in 1996, a symbolic effort to erase the nightmare that unfolded there. But the memory of what happened remains a painful chapter in British history. Fred and Rose West's story is a terrifying reminder of how evil can hide in plain sight. Behind the doors of an ordinary home lived two of the most monstrous killers the world has ever known,